Where were we today? Yeah, I was trying to make sure we can actually spawn the player on land every time to varying results. Don't really feel like continuing to work on that. Where did I leave my commit? I'll say sort of, without caps lock. Sort of spawn character on land every time. Not really every time, but at least half the time. At least half the time it works every time. Where's the music? There we go. Yeah, what do I want to try and work on tonight? Something easy, I think. Something simple. Kind of low energy right now, but I could release the old chunks from memory. That might not be too bad. Let me look into that a little bit here. So, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the terrain chunk map is what's holding on to those. Yeah. Let's see where we're using this. Yes, we sort. Let me check out how my stream resolution looks. Is it better? Is this better than the 2K res? It looks okay. It looks decent, at least. Okay, so we sort them. If terrain chunk map contains a visible chunk coordinate, we sort it. Get or spawn chunks at position. We basically, yeah, get or spawn. This is where we add. And so I think if we get far enough away, I should get rid of them. And I think each terrain chunk kind of determines if it's visible or not. There it is. So, yeah, so here, if it's greater than the max view distance, turn off the actors, clean up the procedural stuff, set it invisible, and return. Update turn. So I kind of want to make this return a boolean for if it's like shown or not. And if it's not shown, I'll just remove it from that map. Let's find out where this is called from. Right here will be where we want to do that at. This should never be the case, right? I guess it technically could because this is async. I don't want to return false here though, because then it'll just remove it. I think I only return false here. I can spell. We'll do this afterwards. Trunk finished. I don't actually need to return visible because I can just get if it's visible or not at the end. Should I just change that back? Yeah, let's change that back because it is a bit confusing returning true when there's no map data because like technically it wouldn't be visible, you know? And then let me make sure that it actually set is visible, set visible false. Then we set visible true towards the end here. And when it's not happening asynchronously or anything. So that'll be fine. It'll be visible after this gets called. It only gets set visible false there and returns. So wait a second, maybe this doesn't work because there's a time period here. So we get the current LOD mesh, set it to fall. This is technically the old LOD mesh. I kind of want to change this here. Do a small refactor. Cortana, I swear to God, get the fuck out of here. No one has ever purposefully opened Cortana before. So I kind of want to do that. So if we have a current mesh, set it. We actually don't even need to do that. We can just do that. There's no mesh return. Then here's the new LOD mesh. It hasn't requested a mesh. And then I return. I don't set the index. I kind of want to maybe do this. Can I get away with doing this up here? Maybe even right here. Just because this is going to look a little weird. Let me see if this actually works first. Nothing weird happens. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes because there's so much async stuff happening. What's my memory at? God, dude, Ryder uses so much. Yeah, getting 64 gigs of memory would be a huge upgrade. How much does that cost right now? How much does 60? I typed in 53. No, 64. How much does 64 gigs of DDR5 cost? I'm seeing like 150 to 250. What's the speed though? DDR5 5200? I think I have 3200. Does my motherboard support that? RAM, is the RAM specification? Memory. Wait, so it doesn't support DDR5? It's all DDR4. No, it doesn't. I'll have to get some DDR4. I didn't realize that. So how much is 64 gigs of DDR4? Or is that even worth it? Should I get a new MOBO too? I'm seeing like 150 for 64 gigs of DDR4. Hey Alex, how are you? 250 to 260 euro. What is a euro? 64, right? Geez, they're expensive. It's gotta be pretty similar, right? The euro's not too far off from the US dollar. I might as well say schmeckles though. I have no idea. But yeah, and the thing is, like, I can't just get 2 more sticks, right? I have to get like a whole new set because I have all 4 of my slots filled up right now with 8 gig sticks. Yeah, but I could get some 3200 for like 150. It's not, I mean, it's not terrible, but like, yeah, I don't want to spend 150 bucks. That doesn't feel good. And they kind of have the same value nowadays, yeah. Something to think about. Because I'm constantly, I mean, I don't know if you saw that, but like, yeah, Ryder's using 10 gigs. I mean, my game right now is using 8. Right now I'm working on releasing some of my terrain chunks from memory. To help alleviate that a little bit. It is storing many vertices. What the hell was this? What the hell was this? Okay, yeah, I messed something up. Yep, I knew it. This is why you test. So I moved that from here. Their country's currency is 0.2. Damn, that's not a good. So every unit of your country's currency. What is happening? Fucking ads, bro. I'm not playing Elder Scrolls Online. Thank you though. But yeah, so one unit of your country's currency is 0.2 of a euro. Yeah, inflation is not good here. Yeah, I mean, it's not good here in the US either, but a lot better than other places, I suppose. Oh, I accidentally locked my dog in my office. One sec. You went out, buddy? Here you go. So yeah, so I was trying to determine my chunk is, I need to go back to like returning a Hey, that's an easy conversion. Thanks, inflation. Why can't we all just use Bitcoin, right? Yeah, I need to go back. I need to return a bool here. This bool is basically going to say whether or not to clean it up. Because it's like I can either have the parent class, which is the endless terrain, clean it up, or I can have it clean itself up, which feels weird. I'll just say, let me put a comment here. Or not the chunk should be visible. Returns whether or not the chunk is in distance, is in distance to be visible. Yeah, we'll say that. Anything with inflation, wages were raised, but the game prices remain kind of the same. Well, that's kind of nice. Yeah, more games need to do like localized pricing. I don't think enough do. It is visible. And then I guess I should just pass that. I'll have this function handle it. So if there is no chunk, do nothing, yes. We've been on the game thread. Yeah, I think we'd want to do this on the game thread. Rain check map. And then we'd want to remove chord if chunk is visible. If not visible, remove it. What does this say? Oh, it's not captured. Yeah. Remove it, and we'll mark it ready for destruction as well. Chunk destroy. Okay, that should help with some memory issues. In my country, a lot of people do piracy, but I don't do that. Like Pirate Software said. Yeah, that's exactly what I just thought whenever I read that. Price localization is the solution. Yeah, he's right. I think it gets hard when if you have like a live service game where you need to connect to servers, like the servers cost what they cost, right? And it's not like, you know, so if you have people needing to pay like a monthly price, like think about it in terms of a WoW sub, you almost need to have localized servers in that case. You can't, you need to have localized servers along with the localized pricing, or else it just doesn't make sense, because you can't have people playing on US servers for, you know, a few cents of you know, what another country's currency would be. Controller support DLC win. You know, you say that, and I actually do want to make this like controller supported. A long time ago, it's probably like 7 or 8 years ago or something, like I bought an NVIDIA Shield for the sole purpose of like hacking WoW, to be able to play WoW on my big screen TV on the couch with the controller running from my computer. If you don't know what an NVIDIA Shield is, it just allows you to stream games from your computer to a TV somewhere. Or it used to. It's kind of phasing out now. And it comes with a controller. I actually have it right here. There's a little NVIDIA Shield controller. Controller players should pay extra. The controller is not native to PC. I mean, I don't think it's that hard doing controller support. They can pay extra just for making me put it on like Xbox and shit, I think. You should do a Dust DLC like in Sims. What is the Dust DLC in Sims? Yeah, but you know, like, yeah, I wanted to play WoW on my controller, like just laying on my couch because I was lazy as fuck. And I eventually got it to work with like, you had to like rig up a bunch of key bindings and shit with like some, what was it? It was like XPatter or something, like some software you have to use. And then I had to get my controller to like, I had to get the NVIDIA Shield to forward the inputs correctly and stuff like that. And like, of course, WoW isn't exactly set up to be played on controller, but I actually got it working fairly well. And like, I even like PvP'd and stuff like that, and was pretty decent. Like, you say that until you get to the UI, then you will want it to be extra. Well, you say that, so let me. And I was actually keeping this in mind. So like, for my, you see how I'm using my scroll wheel right now. You're seeing a lot of errors, ignore those. But I can actually scroll through the inventory, and this was to keep it, you know, controller support capable, right? So it's not that different. Because I don't want to, like, to your point, I don't want to maintain two different UIs. I want to make them as close as possible. So it's something I'm keeping in mind, right? And it's same with my character screen. Maybe you can't see it, but yeah, I can scroll through these as well. You have to pay $10 to get Dust Infect. Dude, Sims is such a money maker, though, dude. People fucking love that game. It's crazy. You're paying $10 to be able to vacuum up dust in a video game. Like, that's so nuts. EA sucks, yeah. That's very EA. That's very on brand. Same with like selling FIFA, the same fucking FIFA game every goddamn year. Yeah, I was about to ask you actually, does it look better? Does the text look better? Because I'm rendering it at 1080 now. I feel it's kind of, I did a couple recordings before I started the stream, and it looks like it might be better. It's kind of hard to tell though in a recording. Anyways, I need to make sure my terrain chunks are getting cleaned up. So I just need to, let me look at my chunk map. This is so laggy. Terrain chunk map is 225. So to test this, what I'm going to do is we are going to spawn somewhere random. Where do I want to go? Let's check out like right here. And so I can see the code now, so I think it's better. Awesome, that's good to hear. Yeah, watching my streams back, I was like, yeah, that is fucking hard to read. And it's because I have a 2K monitor and I was rendering it at a 2K resolution. Okay, so I should still probably have around 225 chunks in that map. And my memory, it is higher. I wanted to play Dead Space, but the fucking extra launcher and DRM pissed me off when I tried it on Game Pass. Yeah. I mean, two things players hate, right? Launchers and DRM. Which one's Name a better combo. I'll wait. How can we shoehorn Denuvo into this and make it online all the time, even though you're playing solo? Okay, so that didn't quite work. So we have terrain chunk map at 450. That's not correct. That did not work. Oh, I keep hitting key bindings for UI that let's get rid of those. It says 1080 60 source. I'm on a 2K screen on mobile. I'm on a 2K screen on mobile. So I didn't have trouble before. Wait, how can you have a 2K screen on mobile? Am I being stupid? Yeah, if it's not visible, it should be getting removed, right? Let me make sure I'm returning. Oh, duh. That's a pretty easy, pretty easy to notice bug right there. That's the Samsung resolution. Are there really 2K pixels on a Samsung phone? I have a Pixel 8. What's the resolution of Pixel 8? I guess that's 2K as well. I didn't know that. Why didn't I know that? My Pixel is 2400 by 1080. So wait, is that 2K or is that 1080? That's 1080, right? You go by the lower number, right? Resolution is so fucky, man. As a web developer. Having to target what our minimum supported screen size is like 768 pixels. So it's like trying to get shit to work with that is such a pain in the ass sometimes. We render a lot of charts too, so it's like it's using the HTML canvas, which like doesn't exactly play nice with that. And it's like, bro, if you're trying to look at these charts that we're rendering on a 768 pixel fucking window, like you're gonna have a bad time. Like, why are you even trying? Okay, so I think what's happening now, it's working, but it's not spawning my character because the expected number of chunks are not spawned in. That's how I determine when everything's finished generating, is like, yeah, so I used to have 225, and I think it's probably waiting for 225 chunks to be loaded. Yeah, here we go. Chunks to load 225. So I need to come up with a better number for that. Getting kind of late for me. Good luck on the coding. Bye. Yeah, see you later. Thanks for stopping by. It's getting kind of late for me too. This is probably going to be a shorter stream anyway. I usually get tied around 9, so here in like a half hour. And I had Chipotle earlier, so I'm going to fucking sleep like a baby tonight. How would I do this? I'm in the wrong class, first of all. I believe it's in my sort function here. Yeah, so I add to my chunks to load here. And so I'm just adding everything within the number of square chunks visible, which is set to max view distance divided by chunk size. That makes sense. So that's essentially saying how many square chunks are within the distance. So the problem here is that it's doing square chunks, so it's literally making a square of expected chunks. And what's like the square root of 225? Is that 15 or is that 25? I feel like it's 15. Square root of 225. Square root is 15. Yeah, so it's trying to render a section of 15 by 15 terrain chunks in a square. And the problem is it's checking the distance. The chunks check the distance from players to determine whether or not they should be shown. And that distance is forming a circle, like a radius. So those numbers do not match. I'm wondering if I should continue. It's like, do I take this number and adjust it to match whatever the circle version is? Maybe I can chunks to. I wonder if I can just. Is it so simple as going in here? And I'll say. Yeah, I think this will work. I'll say like if this is in the chunks to load, or I've organized these by the coordinate, then I will just remove it. I think I have a set here, right? If it's not a set, I need to change it to be one. It is a set. So again, this is a constant time complexity operation. Very efficient. We don't have to worry about searching through the list to find it. I think this will fix that problem. So this now should be correctly spawning my character, not waiting for chunks to load that never load. And it should also be clearing them from memory as well. Give it a little testy test. Okay, we're generating. Uh-oh. It ain't working. Chunk map. I have 181 in here. Chunks to load 181. Chunks loaded 138. Which is odd because not only do I add this chunk to chunks loaded, but I remove it from chunks to load. So why is, I mean, am I gonna have to count here? I have to count how many chunks there are on the map. I mean, obviously it's, whatever that number was. Why is it expecting 181? There's 138 that I've loaded and spawned. Maybe. I don't want to count all these by hand. Well, really, I only have to count half, right? What else would be happening here? But yeah, this is the circle around the player that's spawning. Let me check and make sure this is returning false at the proper times. So this, if the closest player distance is greater than the max view distance, we will return false, as in visible false. It's all good. We return true here. This really probably shouldn't be hit, but it's like a just in case, I suppose. Although we're not referencing map data anywhere in here. I think where it eventually gets referenced is in the map data. And it looks like we guard it there properly. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And maybe things won't break. Do I need it in setup mesh? No. Excuse me. Yeah, and I mean, essentially, if we've made it past this, then we know it's going to be visible eventually. So we do want to return true. Ah, I wonder, this might be the culprit here. Forgot this was getting called in a separate place. What do I do with you? So, what was I doing here? This is in request mesh. And it happens in the game thread, which is not where this is called from. Request mesh, where was that at? It was in update. Yeah, so update terrain chunk function calls request mesh, which essentially calls back to it to get past this point because we return true here. So it calls again. I mean, that shouldn't be that actually shouldn't be a problem, because calling it just enters the function again, which should either return true or false the next time. Oh, but I'm not returning it. Do I need? Yeah, I'm not returning it. That's what I need to be doing. And if I'm calling back to the game thread, I mean, this should already be in the game thread, so this might not be necessary, because update terrain chunk happens here and process chunks happens on tick. So yeah, we're already in the game thread. Let's get rid of that. And then we return here. Return here. Yes, yes, yes. Bool. Request mesh. And then I'll need to return that here as well. Yeah, I think that was the issue. Return false here? I mean, I guess we'll return true. What this means is just that the map data isn't finished generating yet. And like, if that happens, and so map data generates here asynchronously, and then afterward it calls request mesh anyway on the 0 LOD. I mean, I guess it's possible that I mean, it is possible for there to be no map data. I mean, I'm logging it, right? Log it as an error, so I actually pay attention to it. I want to see what this does. I think this will be closer, so I think I just wasn't handling that scenario. Request mesh. And I guess I am... I call this from all over the place. And see, this is the fucking problem with doing the async stuff. So I call it here too. But I mean, if it gets called from here, the process chunks function should still call it eventually, I think. Because like what happens is every time I spawn a chunk on a init, I just fire off a request for the for the lowest level LOD. All right, we're good. Oh God, I'm getting sleepy already. Yeah, still not spawning. Chunks to load, chunks. I mean, it's like the same thing. So that didn't help at all, actually. Ugh. And I thought this was gonna be an easy bug to fix tonight. I mean, I guess I did fix the bug of chunks being removed from memory properly, but now my player's not spawning, so that's not exactly helpful. So update, I was expecting that to make at least a dent in the number that need to be spawned. So I do this all in the game thread, huh? This is an expensive function. I probably shouldn't be doing that on the game thread. And so my options are to either keep generating a circle of terrain chunks, like I am now, and change the number that I'm expecting to be loaded to be the proper number, or I can just generate a square of chunks. I'm not sure which one I would rather have happen. I thought just changing the number I was expecting would be easier, but thanks to all the asynchronous tasks I have, it's not exactly proving to be that easy. So when do I call terrain chunk init? I think I call it when I try to spawn things. Yeah. Get or spawn chunk at position. And then this is called, chunks to load, add coordinate. I should just do the check here rather than in the chunk for the distance. And that way I don't have to worry about where all that shit's happening from. And this is the check I want to do. Calc closest player distance. And let's try and get all focal locations. Yeah. Let's make another function above this. Call it is within player view distance. Const, of course. then that's gonna do this right here. Closest player distance has to be the closest player distance has to be less than or equal to the max view distance. Why is this mad at me? Cannot assign. Oh yeah, yeah. Fine, we'll make it non-const. That doesn't really make sense for this function, but I want to update that within this function. Because it's like, if I'm going to, well, it's like when I call this function, do I always want to iterate through all the players and check the distance? That could be expensive if there's a lot of players. Or do I want to, like, it's essentially like caching the closest player distance. I think I'll leave it like that for now, because it's not exactly an expensive function right now. Then I want to put this all into a function. Clean up chunk. And then do I want to destroy as well in here? I think so. Where the hell was I? So I want to do this instead here. Cuz like I don't need to spawn the chunk to know whether or not it's within distance. Well, I did just put those functions on the chunk. And I go and I get or spawn chunk at location. Anything expensive I call init. Does this do anything expensive? It does, but it does it asynchronously, so I'm gonna take those functions out and put them in the endless terrain parent class. Is within player view distance. This is the function I want to move. One of many. That should be public. I'm gonna need to at least take in a chunk coordinate, which is kind of like my unique identifier for the chunks, but it also gives me, it tells me where the chunk is as well, so I actually know just based on the coordinate how far away it is from the player, and so I don't need to spawn it, right? I can just calculate it. Transform to get location, so I need to do chunk coordinates. Don't I have a function for this transform chunk? No, I just take the chunk coordinates, multiply it by minimum square vertices per chunk, and multiply by scale. Should I make another function? I'm just making so many fucking functions right now. What do I want to call this? This should be like get chunk position. I mean, that's what this does, right? Yeah. I already have that function. Right, 2D, yeah. I'm gonna have to do this for every chunk. Every chunk I need to iterate through every player. Yeah, that's gonna be a pain in the ass. It's not a problem now, though. Say if get terrain chunk location at coordinates is greater than. No, I need to get the distance between these two. And I'm gonna put this in a function. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, and if the distance is greater than max view distance. Oh, no, I don't need to do that. I'm dumb. I just do this. Because it's already... We will continue and we'll just skip it all together. So I think that should help us out. I think this might be the best solution. Yeah. This is gonna do it, because I don't have to worry about all the fucky wonky async stuff, and I can actually make maybe... No, I should probably still leave it in the update terrain chunk function as well. I am kind of like double checking. I'm like running the same logic basically multiple times, and it, like I've been saying, it's potentially expensive. Okay, yeah, let's test. Let's play it. Oh shit. What is this? Which one did it fail on? Update terrain chunk is in the game thread, so what's the issue here? Why? Why? Wait, so why is one trying to get garbage collected? None should be getting garbage collected. Or destroyed, rather. What chunk are we in? I don't know. I am in chunk -3, -5. Yeah, why would that be? Ah, I see. I switched the... That would be an issue, wouldn't it? I was destroying every single chunk that I was meaning to spawn. Of course! Of course! How could it be anything else? This, for sure, is going to be the solution. This is it. Okay. We haven't crashed. Oh, and we've spawned. Yes. It's working. It's working. Look at that. We're updating real time the chunks that are loaded. And it just starts back over. I should also, let me add here, only sort and process chunks when a player has moved enough. Because right now it's just gonna constantly be sorting and processing chunks. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are you a C++ pro? I would not consider myself that by any means. I have been working in Unreal C++ for a little over 1.5 years now, so I've got some chops, but I am no pro. You need one? What's your issue? Maybe I can help. Maybe you didn't need a pro and you just needed a potato brain. I'm here to help. I'm trying to rename a chunk to something that already exists. SDL2 plus CMake equals no work. I have seen those terms before. 3 days trying to fix. Is this a game dev issue? Something specific with Unreal or something with C++? Oh, I put C++ in my tags, didn't I? Is that how you got here? I'm doing game dev right now, so I can tell if that's an Unreal Engine thing, I might be able to help you out with that. You're making an engine. Okay, so you're probably, a little insane. First of all, no hate, no hate. I respect it. It takes a lot to Unreal. You're making Unreal 6. That's great. That's fucking crazy, dude. That's awesome though. Hey, put me on the beta list. Sign me up. Try that shit out. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't help you there. You're doing some pretty advanced stuff. That's funny though, Unreal 6. What was my issue? It'll probably be a primitive Minecraft engine. Could be a niche for that. Is it written in Java like Minecraft as well? No. I mean, you already said it was C++, yeah. Yeah, why am I trying to spawn a chunk that already exists? Okay, so I'm assuming it just never ended up getting destroyed. It was like pending kill. That's annoying. Yeah, I know what CMake is. That's like the OGC compiler. I'm trying to make a build system with CMake. Dude, what are you doing? You're like you're really, getting down into the weeds. You're trying to make your own build system with CMake. I mean, that's pretty low level stuff. It's a buildy thing. See, now you're talking over my head. That's intense though. You're doing some intense shit. Yeah, I wish I could help you more. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've seen CMake and I've used it before. I guess I don't know what to refer to it as or what it actually does. I've clicked buttons in CMake before. I swear. Is that what I'm thinking of? Let me Google CMake. Oh, it's a command line tool. What if there was some UI, there was some C something UI that I've used. Maybe CMake wasn't it. CMake is with GUI and CLI. Okay, so I think I've clicked some buttons in the GUI before. Like, that's about it. Have you tried turning it off and back on again? And have you tried explaining the problem to a rubber ducky? And so what is SDL2? Can you tell me what that is? It's been 3 days, dude. This is why people don't make their own game engines, you insane, you absolute mad lad. It's turned off many times. Simple directive media layer 2. Okay. Not sure what it does, but it opens windows for me. Okay. So I guess is that probably the GUI library then? Yeah, I have absolutely no fucking idea how to help you, mate. Why are you trying to make your own engine? Is this a hobby? It better be a hobby. If it's anything else other than a hobby, I'm gonna call you insane probably one more time. Audio and GUI for stuff. Yeah, that sounds like the other words you said. Yeah. It's a hobby. Okay. You also are a masochist, I presume. I said making an indie game might make me rich or it will be cool. I'm a JavaScript dev. Hey, me too, originally. I don't do much JavaScript these days anymore. Why don't you make a game engine in JavaScript? Why don't you do that? That seems like a much better idea. No. What do you mean? Just render it to the canvas. Render it to the HTML canvas. Create your own canvas rendering engine. Oh, it sounds like is it that much more a terrible idea than making your own game engine in C++? Like, I don't know. I think you're full of terrible ideas, maybe. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of the opinion. There was a I don't know if you know who Tim Kaine is, but I watch a lot of his like game design videos. He was the original creator of Fallout, and he's got a YouTube channel where he talks about game design and stuff. And he talks about like whether you should make your own engine or not. And his answer was like, unless you're making like a really specific niche game where you'll need to do a lot of your own stuff anyway, you should probably just use one of the existing engines out there. It's because C++ is sort of the default. Yeah, for game design, yeah. But I mean, you're just kind of recreating the wheel, I feel like, you know? Just hop it. Come on over to Unreal Engine 5. The water's great. The docs are shit. It's perfect. You played Fallout New Vegas? That is one on my list to play. I've only played Fallout 4 and 76. It's more about making the wheel than the car. Yeah, I mean, it's something to put on the resume, right? Add the stats a little bit. Why? So one thing that annoys me about Unreal Engine, I was destroying chunks, right? I destroyed a bunch of chunks. Or I must have, right? So what I'm going to do, actually, spawn parameters.name. I'm going to see if I can find, I can call like find object. Hey, thanks for the follow, Vinny. Appreciate that. You know, I'm trying to get a game made as well, and the follows help out a lot. My followers bar does not seem to be updating. The number is correct though. New Vegas, unfortunately, is pretty glitchy, but it's amazing. I've heard, yeah, and I was watching, who was it? I think it was Bike Man. He was playing like a modded playthrough. I think that's who I was watching on Twitch. Yeah, it seems nice. You know, a little dated, but still hangs in there. It crashes a lot. Yeah. Par for the course, I suppose, with old games. Find object, and I think I can do this with a this takes in like a name, right? An outer and a name. The outer is going to be this. So essentially, I'm going to say, does one of these exist already? And if it does, if old terrain chunk, I am going to say found old chunk, and I need to log if this old chunk is pending, kill pending, yes. I need to confirm my suspicions of pending kill chunks causing this issue. My 3 crashed more, but New Vegas is more consistent. Yeah, I mean, New Vegas came out afterwards, right? It's Fallout 3 New Vegas, so yeah, that makes sense. There's a certain area south of New Vegas which is impossible to fast travel to for some reason. I mean, are there a bunch of mods to like fix crashes and stuff? Or no? Is it all pretty much the Wild West out there still? When is Bethesda gonna remaster Fallout 3 and New Vegas, or even Fallout 1 or 2? Like, I would pay money for like a Fallout 1 if they remade it in the current style of game. Because like Fallout 1 was just like a CRPG. And now the games are more of just an RPG, like a real-time combat type stuff, 3D, not isometric CRPG. So, yeah, when are they? I feel like that would be not a bad move. Okay, we've spawned. We're good. Now, the moving is what is going to be the issue. Here's all my chunks. Should I have one more over there? Guess maybe I'm off to this. I mean, maybe that's why. Here we go. Here it is. Here it is. And so that didn't... It's interesting, so... That didn't work, and maybe this function just doesn't work like I think it does. That's probably why that didn't get triggered. Let's chunk 0 to Madre. Hello, hey, what's going on, man? How are you? I am a bit confuddled at the moment, so I don't know why there is still a chunk with the same name sticking around. I'm naming them based off of the coordinate that they're spawned at. And I'm storing every terrain chunk that I spawn in a map. And I check if that coordinate is in the map, and I return it there. And if it's not in there, I go through this process, which is spawning it. And I get here, it spawns, and it crashes, because you can't rename something to the same name as something already taking. That's already taken up. And it only happens when I move. And so my suspicion was that there was an old terrain chunk sticking around, causing this, that hadn't gotten properly destroyed. Let me see, I'm gonna log the cleanup chunk method, see if this is actually getting called very much, if at all. And then I'll know if there's actually one that's been spawned that is pending destroy. That'll be a better way to tell than my shitty attempt at using the find object function, which may or may not be how it works. Had a brain fart trying to understand. Gotcha though, dude. I am just... My night so far is just one big long brain. It's one fart. I am fart right now. I'm usually sleepy at 9 and it's 9:10. So my cognitive capabilities are declining into potato brain territory quite quickly. It's crashing when I move. So right now we're all good. We're all good here. If I zoom out, I'm wondering if it's this one right here. What did it say? -70? What is this chunk right here? This chunk is... Yeah, it might be that one. And so I think what maybe is... Because I'm spawning them based on the distance from the player. So I think what happened... Where's my player at? There he is. I think maybe when I spawned him, he like slid down a little bit. Just enough to unspawn that one over there. Because you can see how we have this little tab, and there's a little tab up there, and one right down here sticking out. There's not one over here. And so I'm wondering if I look that direction. Yep, and the second I go over there, And so let me check here. Oh, I did find an old chunk this time. It just didn't log last time. I wonder if the logger just didn't get to it in time before it crashed. I did find an old chunk, and it was pending kill, so that is the issue. I've confirmed my suspicions. Can you synchronously destroy something in Unreal Engine? Because that would fix my issue. Or rather, if I do find one, can I just reuse it? Can you cancel a pending kill? And I'll just reuse it. It sounds like it's like I'm recycling. It's great. It's green. It's eco. I don't even remember where I was. Okay, this is it. Can't you just not call the event when the chunk is old? So what I'm trying to do is spawn a new chunk when the old one hasn't finished cleaning up yet. Because like when you destroy something in Unreal Engine, it takes time. And it's an asynchronous operation, a process. And so by the time I move over there, I move the player, and it tries to spawn again, it's still existing, and it's not destroyed yet. Can I, like, cancel? That's not a function. I called it, is destroy not what I should be doing? Destroy this actor, returns true, the actor is destroyed or already marked for destruction, false if indestructible. Destruction is latent, it occurs at the end of the tick. Okay, so hang on, so maybe it just wasn't getting destroyed properly. Oh, I called cleanup on some of these chunks already. Let me log this. We'll find out if it's successful at destroying it. And while it's building, I want to take a look at some of these other... Which destroy function should I actually be calling? Because there's destroy, begin destroy, and finish destroy. Why destroy the chunk when why destroy the chunk when the chunk still exists? Regenerating things every time it loads or unloads seems like a bit of a waste. I'm trying to save on memory. That's the whole, because I wasn't doing that before, and I was doing exactly what you were saying. But what happens is all these chunks just kind of hang around, you know, until the player could be halfway across the world, and they're still lingering there. And it's like, so I can either just like reuse some chunks, and like I would end up having to regenerate them all anyway, which is the expensive part, not necessarily the spawning part. So that's why. Called to finish destroying the object. The memory should no longer be accessed. And this function is saying false if indestructible. So I'm wondering if my chunks, have I created some indestructible chunks somehow? Okay, so I see it returning true right here. It may be kind of hard to see, but it's returning true, and I walked and everything was fine there for a second. See, it got rid of those ones. So I wonder if I just like run around in circle a little bit here. Yeah, it was there that time. Okay, here we go. So this is probably a different one in a different direction. Let me make sure Let me look at all my cleanup chunks. So true, true, true. So they all return true. I mean, I guess the issue is maybe... Am I destroying anywhere else? I'm destroying a component, but that's not the issue. Okay, so let me do my same cleanup chunk function there to make sure that one gets logged if it ever gets hit. This is leftover, so I don't know if I need this section of code anymore. And I'm calling chunk dude, I have so much. I need to clean this up. Undestroyed. Yeah, I mean, I just bound. Log that there. I just want to make sure everything is covered so I can see what exactly is getting destroyed. And when it's getting destroyed, too. Alright. Give me some more info. Don't give me the same bullshit I just saw, because that wasn't super helpful. We're just gonna run around in circles a little bit. There it goes. There she goes. I did find an old chunk. That was true. Pending kill. So the thing is, like, it's spawning the player here, so nothing is getting destroyed, and like, it said it was supposed to happen at the end of the frame. But it's like, why is it still finding ones that are pending kill? And if I could just cancel it, I would, right? Unreal Engine, cancel, destroy. Is that a thing? Probably not. Undo destroy actor. Yeah, I feel like that wouldn't be like the proper way to handle this anyway. It doesn't feel right. It feels hacky. I mean, maybe I can just rename this like old. I don't know why. I really want to figure out why it's still sticking around and where it's getting destroyed from. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that function's lying to me. Because maybe if I find an old one with the same name, maybe I can just do something like I'll rename it. Because if I give this null, right, I'm pretty sure it assigns it like a unique name or something. I hate how long Unreal Engine source code's lines are. Here we go. Rename this object to a unique name or change its outer. The new name of the object. If null, then new outer should be set. New outer this object will be placed within. If null, it will use the current outer. I thought there was something... So what I don't want to do is like give this a name that's like, and then have this get hit again, and then give some other old chunk also the same name. But I mean, if that's happening, it's like, why the hell aren't things getting garbage collected? Check this one. How to destroy actor in C++. Alright, let's check this out. Is the answer at the bottom? Here's the solution. Found 3 ways. Mark, pending kill, destroys... Will destroy an actor, but I think this pointer has to be an A actor. So if you accidentally cast something to an actor that isn't, I mean that's what I'm using, so that shouldn't be an issue. I can force garbage collection. Okay. Maybe that's what I need to do. So I wonder if I find a well, fucking great. How old are these answers? I mean, it's only a couple years old. Where's that function at? Clear garbage? Is that the new, take out trash? Is this the new... Guess I'll have to search for that too. That's so old, never mind. I mean, I don't know. Automatically clear flags. Oh, it says unmarks this object as garbage, so that's definitely not what I want. It's a GC. Can you not force? Changed it, and then I need to import something for this, right? I suppose I can already get there. Yeah, it's like, so if I find one that's already pending, force garbage collection. Okay, let's see what happens there. To Madre, I hope you've helped me find the solution here. I really do. I hope this was a helpful link. This just seems so unnecessary. What still happened? Found old chunk was true. I did force garbage collection, and it was still existed. Another way you could do it. I mean, it's not, the problem isn't destroy, because like it's getting destroyed, or at least marked pending kill, but it's not getting like garbage collected. I thought this sounded full. I mean, such that at the next, so this isn't a synchronous operation either, so I guess maybe that's why that wasn't gonna work. That usually happens when you try to access or destroy something that's not. I mean, if it's not valid though, then it would crash on the line where I try to destroy it, right? Or it would already be being destroyed. Right? But I mean, yeah, so it's either not a thing or it's in the process of being destroyed already. Let me try my like rename solution here. I feel this isn't good. I feel like I saw somewhere that if you just call a rename with like nulls, then it gives it a unique name. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, if there's no new name or outer. So yeah, I think I can just give it a cancel. Go away. Go away. Stop it. Okay. Okay. This is gonna work. 60% of the time, this will work every time. Fuck! God fucking damn it. Oh, wait a second. This crashed at a different location. So this may be the issue you're talking about now. This is a different one. Oh no, it's expecting to be in the game thread when cleanup gets called. It isn't. This is in the game thread here. And I don't think update terrain chunk gets called from outside of the game thread at all. Process chunks only happens on tick, so we're good there. Okay, where does request mesh? To Madre, thanks for the follow. Here it is. So it's trying to clean up here. But like, why is it? Wait, so this shouldn't be happening anymore. I shouldn't be calling init if it's, well, I guess it could. Okay, what we'll just do is make sure that cleanup is called in the game thread. Okay, so that's a separate issue. I stand by the idea to check validity before calling the cleanup. But like, I don't see how that would change anything, right? Because either it's invalid and it's an invalid pointer, and the pointer doesn't point to memory, so it would crash there on that line, or two, it's invalid because it's already been marked as destroyed, right? In which case it's a no-op. So unless I'm not understanding that correctly, or you know something that I don't see how that would change the outcome of what we're seeing. See, this is working now. This is working now. So I mean, I just renamed the old chunk so I didn't have the naming collision, and hopefully that gives it enough time to get properly garbage collected. Kind of a hacky solution. Ignore my shitty pickaxe animations. Yeah, if it works, it works. I mean, you are not wrong. I mean, I really think that function comment was lying to me. Because it was saying it just gets cleaned up at the end of the tick. And I don't think that actually happens. I think it takes more than a tick to get things cleaned up. To garbage collect and pending kill, destroy, whatever. Oop. Okay, and so here's going to be a good way to test this. So let me open up my world map now. Okay, so I'm right here. And I'm going to go... So if I click on this world map, it'll teleport me over there. And so what I'm looking at is my memory up here. I want this to not be as... I don't want this to double, essentially. We'll go like right there. Okay, so we've moved over there, generating those chunks. Okay, I'm at 10 gigs now. And I'm seeing a lot of destroys happen here in the logs. Is memory... Can I get some memory back now? I'm still at 10 gigs. Like, look at all this. Destroyed. When does the editor garbage collect? I also shouldn't be able to see any off in the distance, right? Well, there's a couple lingering ones over there. 10 gigs of what? Memory. RAM. So these things didn't get cleaned up properly. I guess I would probably have to run like a memory profiler on it to see exactly what needs to happen. But how do I manage to get 10 gigs like taken up? It is pretty directly correlated to how many chunks I've spawned, because before when I was doing this teleporting around and stuff, my memory would just skyrocket. I mean, I only went up to 11 gigs there, so I only did 1 more gig of memory for all these terrain chunks. So, and I'm seeing things getting destroyed up in here, and I'm seeing logs. So this is better, because normally I would be at like 17, 18 gigs of memory, having teleported a couple times. Yeah, and I have some lingering chunks. Why did you two not get cleaned up? Why did you all not get, like, you don't seem to be using assets that are big enough for this to take this much memory. I mean, there's probably definitely some optimizations I can do, but it's essentially all the vertices for each chunk, I would assume, because there's, each chunk is about, I think it's 240 by 240. So, like, you know, each point here. Oh. And I have two LODs, so I'm storing this lower res one and the higher res one in memory. And so each point here, it's about 58,000 points per chunk for LOD 0. This one will be less, but like I said, I'm storing both for each chunk. So that's a good amount of memory. And it is an editor, so there's probably a lot of memory being taken up by the widgets and stuff that are shown. Like, I assume if I got rid of some of these U properties, my memory would get a lot better. Yeah. I did go back down to 10 gigs. That's pretty good. So I think it is working. So all I'm really trying to do is just make the editor experience and debugging experience a little bit better. And not just have it just increasingly take up memory. But yeah, I'm probably storing some things in some ways that is duplicating memory that I don't need to be. And, you know, passing some arrays of these vertices around and copying them. So that's probably contributing quite a bit. But hey, that works. So I'm going to clean up some of this destroy stuff a little bit. So I think could just be the trees. Yeah, so my memory usage did increase when I started doing the PCG stuff, because that's what the trees and the foliage and everything are spawned from. So I know it does a lot of caching to speed things up in the editor for like redraws and stuff like that. So yeah, that definitely is impacting it. But even when okay, so let's test this then. So let me let's see. So I'm gonna, where's my PCG? Okay. So let's test it. I mean, I was still using 10. I still have 10 gigs, even without. Yeah. I mean, I think the editor is just hold on. I'll switch to a different level. I mean, I'm still at 9 gigs. Maybe I'd have to restart. Yeah, I mean, it's just Unreal being Unreal, right? I mean, if I restart, maybe it's going to release all that memory and stuff, so it'll probably be lowered now. Writer's not doing me any favors either. So this is my playground level, and I'm only using just under 4 gigs here. Yeah, so now I'm up to 6.7 without the PCG stuff. So all these terrain chunks are about 3 gigs. So, yeah, I guess the PCG stuff is... I mean, it's about half of it, right? It's about half of it. And I bet it runs... I bet the PCG stuff runs better in a packaged build, or maybe even in a standalone, because of the amount of... It just does a ton of caching. Yeah, that's good for now. Let me clean things up a bit. So I have this chunk destroyed. And I'm binding to it to get rid of it in all these places that I'm storing it at. Do I still care about doing this? I mean, yeah, because I don't want these references sticking around. But also, should this class just be in charge of destroying the chunks anyway? When they go out of view. So that happens here. If it's not within player view distance, clean it up. And I also do it here. Shouldn't need to, though. And if I'm binding to that event when it's destroyed, it's like, do I want to do this here? I mean, I need to do it here so I can return. But when this returns, it returns false, and then it gets kicked into this function, onChunkFinished generating. I think I want the endless terrain to manage cleaning this up. How do I use PCG to spawn animals and NPCs? I don't. That's the trick. Yeah, I can show you that function. So each chunk has a maybe spawn actors. And so when it gets done generating, which will be here, maybe spawn actors, I check if it should spawn actors, and it only spawns actors on the ones that have the high resolution. And it makes sure they're visible. And if it's already spawned actors, I turn them back on. I have like a simulation mode where I just turn off their rendering and I turn off their AI behaviors. So that may be because I'm not actually cleaning them up. I don't think. Unless I am. I call that cleanup actors stuff. When the chunk completely gets destroyed, it'll clean those up. But when it goes to the lower res LOD, it'll just hide them and turn off their AI behaviors. And then, yeah, I just have this is spawning actors. Each chunk has a spawn density, total and current. And each, I have like these structs. Spawn info that I created. And this has, what does this have? Density impact. So this will have like how much each spawn of this given class. So I have a class here as well. How much it impacts that spawn density. So it's like if you want to spawn like, maybe a boss on a chunk, you want that, you don't want the boss to only take up, 100 of the spawn density. And have a bunch of other stuff. You want that to take up more than just a wolf. And so going back to maybe spawn actors. So if the spawn density is not over the total and I have some spawn locations, and the valid spawn locations is an array of spawn location infos, which just has the vertex location, because this is it's essentially a collection of vertices. So there's a lot here. This is taking up memory as well. And then it has an array of what spawn infos it's being blocked by, because each spawn info has a blocking spawn distance to where other things can't spawn within that close. And so if I still have some available spawn locations and I'm under the density, I'm going to continue this while loop. And I just get, I have an array of just spawnables right now. I want to do biome specific spawns. So each terrain chunk will probably have, or I'll have to create some sort of biome struct or something to hold that information. While loop, yeah. And so, yeah, it just gets a random class to spawn in my spawnables. They each have a spawn chance too, so if you wanted weighted spawns, you'd change the spawn chance for each of those. You don't know what a while loop is? So a while loop is like a for loop that it's not like it's not range based, right? So you're not just iterating over a collection. You're iterating over some sort of condition, right? If this is true, we run this code in here. If it's false, we stop. And so what this code is doing is it's spawning things in locations. Every time I spawn something, it takes up some of those spawn locations that a chunk is holding, and it impacts the density total, that the current density that the chunk is holding. And so when that density gets too high, or we run out of spawn locations, this while loop stops happening. And so it spawns about 10 per chunk, and I'm just getting a random spawn location. And so and this isn't deterministically random. I'm just doing a random range, so it's different every time I click play. It's not based on the seed like everything else I'm doing. And so whenever I create the chunks, I compute these spawn locations and cache them. And so I just get as I'm adding, I'm updating the valid locations. So all I have to do when I want to spawn one is just get a random index from this array. And that's what I'm doing. It's just pure random. It's just pure random location. And that spawn location, these valid spawn locations have a world vertex location. And so that's what I use. And then I add some height based on the collision so that they don't spawn underneath the ground. And then I add that blocking spawn to and that gets rid of the spawn locations in the radius. And yeah, going back to game thread, you spawn it. That's it. Can you spawn an actor in PCG? I don't think you can you? You can get actor info. But I mean, what you could do, and what, oh, you can spawn actor. Look at that. So yeah, I mean, you could do this, right? The same way, I don't know how familiar you are with PCG, but like this, I assume, same static, maybe I'll have to fucking do this instead of what I'm doing. Maybe once I do biomes and stuff. I'm more a blueprint materials guy, so I'm using that to learn a bunch of functions, so when I migrate to C++, it's easier. You're using PCG, you're using that to learn. When you say using that to learn, what are you referring to? PCG? Or just blueprints in general? Not using PCG yet. Gotcha. But yeah, I assume it looks like you can just spawn an actor. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. Have you watched like the Electric Dreams? Not just the demo, but they have a video where they go into it in a very advanced overview of it, and they go through all their methodologies for creating it. I've only made it like a quarter of the way through it, and it got me to where I was able to create this stuff. I'll eventually go back through and watch it all, but it's really fucking cool, some of the stuff they do. And like I want to make like rivers and landforms and stuff like that, so I'm planning to do a lot of PCG with that stuff. And of course syncing it back up to my own, the homemade terrain system that I've made here. Yeah, I watched a bunch of lectures. I was waiting on a more full-featured PCG, so I didn't learn it earlier. Yeah, I was actually on 5.2, and I was trying to use PCG, and I was watching some videos, and they had some nodes that I didn't have. And I was like, what the fuck? Where are they getting these nodes? That's what made me update to 5.4 finally. I was putting it off for a while. So they've been working on it, is what I'm trying to say. Whether or not it's full-featured, I don't know about that, but... Yeah, where was I? I was trying to figure out what I wanted to... I mean, it would make sense for the endless terrain to handle the chunk destruction. Is this being used anywhere? Wait a second. Oh yeah, so that was chunk finished generating. This is chunk destroyed. Yeah, so I wanted to figure out if I still wanted to bind to this on destroyed event. Because I feel like I have like 3 different things right now that are handling different parts of the destruction. I don't like that. I want it to be all in one place. Yeah, so I think what I want... I don't know if I can do that. I think a chunk has to manage itself. I was watching my buddy custom roll his own nodes that would be replaced with engine updates, so I focused on learning other systems. Yeah, sometimes that's the best move. Just wait. Yeah, I made a couple of my own nodes. But it's just to, like when I was generating the PCG points, they were sitting too much on top of my landscape. They weren't actually nestling down on, like directly on it. They were like sitting a little bit above it, and it looked very Minecrafty. And so I had to create some of my own nodes to actually translate them into my vertex system that I've created. And that allowed me to align them to like the slope and stuff. But yeah, because of this fucking line right here, this is why the chunks can't manage their own, or this is why the endless terrain can't manage the chunk's destruction. Because at the end, this calls update chunk. And update chunk is what returns here. I should almost just make it the chunk finish generating bind. I should almost make a delegate for this. And so when would that call that is what I'm trying to figure out here. I guess it would call it here. And chunk finish generating would return with the update terrain chunk results. Do I? Yeah, and it's happening async here. Creating delegates is going to help me with the async stuff. I should bite the bullet and fucking do it, shouldn't I? Oh, I already have one. When the hell did I make this? Am I using this anywhere? No, I'm not. Okay. Oh, right. I should only have... I should only ever have my endless terrain listening to this, so maybe I don't need it to be a multicast and it can be a bit faster, but I can imagine scenarios in the future where I might want other things to listen to, whether a particular chunk is finished generating or not. Someone shooting off fireworks outside? What the fuck was that? Hang on, I gotta check my cameras right now. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's what it sounded like. Either that or there's some construction going on literally in the lot, like on the other side of that wall, so something might have fallen as well. Okay, not only do I want this to have a terrain chunk returned, I want it to have a Boolean returned. Oh, right, I need to change this thing. So we'll do that there. Where was that? It's right there. So I actually shouldn't add that there. I want that to be like when I spawn the chunk. Yeah. What do I want to do here? Add you object. Yeah, this. Yeah. That way I only add it once. And then I shouldn't do this here actually, because this calls back to update terrain chunk, so I should do it here. Yeah, there, and then here at the very end, right? Probably also here. Request mesh calls back to update terrain chunk, so that'll get sent back through here. And so when did I usually... I did it on chunk finished, so yeah. So I usually just did it after the terrain chunk function was called. So like whenever it returned. But I don't want it to do that if this gets hit, because if it doesn't have a mesh yet, the mesh isn't done generating. Mesh gets generated asynchronously. No, it doesn't. Not anymore. It probably should. I should probably wrap all this into an asynchronous operation. But I don't want to mess with it too much. So honestly, this should never get hit. Where is it? This should never get hit. With what I have right now. It used to, because I used to have that. But I think this should work for listening to when the chunks finish generating, and then I can have that chunk finish generating function that can handle the... This really shouldn't happen. Change that to an error. We'll make sure we're in the game thread. Although, do delegates always execute on the game thread? This may be unnecessary now. Alright, let's see if we can find a quick answer to that. Oh, did I already search for this at one point? I don't feel like figuring this out right now. So we're going to leave it as is. If chunk is not visible, we're going to clean it up. And rather than listen to this chunk destroyed, we know when it's going to be destroyed now, because there's only one place it's being cleaned up from. Let me verify that's the case. It is the case now. I'll repurpose this function. Get rid of this where this old one was used at. Yeah, I didn't like doing this anyway. It was a little messy. Okay, yeah, we should rebuild all that. And so this definitely isn't needed anymore, because I'm only calling it from that game thread. I can get rid of this log statement as well, it's not helping me. Start that build over. I guess set visible false is kind of a... Don't need to exactly set it invisible, or I don't need to clean up PCG if I'm going to destroy it. Turning off spawned actors, though. Oh, I'm not destroying them. I should destroy them instead. Yeah, I may not need to really do any of this, actually. Because if those actors aren't really referenced by anything anymore, they get garbage collected, if I'm not mistaken. Well, no, because they're spawned into the world, so the world maintains the reference to them. Oh, right. Okay, third time's the charm. What is that? Okay, are we running yet? Okay, let's make sure this is still all working after these refactors. Okay, little awkward. Oh dear. I'm gonna act like that is a one-time thing that's only ever gonna happen once, and it'll never happen again, and that's looking to be the case. Okay, let's turn around a little bit. I'm only using 7.7 gigs now. So that's actually... It wasn't half, actually. I think maybe the 10 was left over from before I was doing the garbage collection stuff. This is much better, actually. Because it was... So the PCG stuff actually isn't using that much memory at all. Doing it this way. Because with it off, I was using like 6.7 gigs. So the PCG is only using a gig of memory. That's actually kind of crazy. That means I'm doing some things that are really, really fucking inefficient. Let's spawn somewhere. Let's go over here. Teleport. I should actually turn that into an ability where I walk through a portal. And the portal casting time is equal to the terrain chunk load time. It is taking a... Is it doing anything? Okay, something's broken. Where did my player go off to? So there should be chunks generating here. What happened? I'm gonna restart this, and I'm gonna check out. I definitely broke some shit, didn't I? Alright, endless terrain. Chunks loaded is 1. Okay, so... Oops. Oopsies. What did I do? When the chunk finishes generating. Okay, so what's happening is one of my Some condition chunk finished generating. There's some return condition. Request mesh calls back to this function, so we don't have to worry about that. I think it's this one. I think this one. That wouldn't have made sense. Because I determined that this should never get hit, so I'm just going to try it with this one and see if it works. And if that doesn't, I'll add it again to that other place. Good. Let us teleport somewhere. Okay, that worked that time, so I think that was a condition. So now the chunks are saying that they generated. Is that really that close? Yeah, so what I'm looking at here is my ugly seams, where two different meshes of different LODs don't match up perfectly. There it goes, now it's matched. Yeah, I should probably render a little bit farther away with the 0 LOD, but I reduced it quite a bit because I was using it to, I'm using it to determine when to spawn the PCG foliage and trees and when to spawn mobs. And so, wow, this chunk doesn't have any PCG stuff on it. What the hell? Like, actually, why? It always gets called. I do have these ugly register or update PCG component. Component has invalid bounds, not registered nor updated. And that's happening because the root component of these terrain chunk actors is this LOD mesh that changes. And part of it changing is sometimes it doesn't have it ready when it changes over. So there's a moment in time where it doesn't have a component. It doesn't have bounds. And I think that's what that's complaining about. So maybe that's what happened here, a little race condition. But yeah, I shouldn't see any chunks over there. No, those chunks all got cleaned up. That's good. Let's see what's the edge of the world look like. Oh, fuck. Just pause. Oh, are those ones getting, are you all getting cleaned up over there? Okay, I see some disappearing. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay, they all got cleaned up eventually. Oh, fuck, look at that. That's crazy. That's what the edge of my world looks like. I thought it would have just spawned them, well, I guess it's checking. It's like checking the next one over and like being like, hey, there's nothing there, so draw a fall off map on that side. Interesting. Oh god, what happened here? Setting the render scale of a widget. I thought I fixed this. Or no. Attempted to access character base via property dynamic cast as gameplay tag asset interface, but it is not. My character is not valid? What? This is, for context, this is happening in my function that's processing the nameplates of all the spawned actors. Maybe I'll just do like a, well, I did this is valid. That's what I thought fixed this, and it didn't. I'll do it for the components as well. Okay, so I think I can cross stuff off my list here. I thought I was going to get a lot more done today. This actually ended up being, I took a stab at this and I got it half working, but it ended up being a major like algorithm question actually, like a leak code question. And then of course y'all just saw how that went. But that should be done now. I'll commit what I have. I'll say release old chunks from memory. That spawned fast. Ooh, cool. We have like a whole like giant lake here. Oh no, I can't walk up that slope. The lake's so big you can't even see it all. I'll have to do some fog of war for the map as well. But that's pretty far down the line. What I want to do, let's not have my voice crack and double this. Let's double the amount of chunks that respond. I want to see farther. Probably take quite a bit longer to spawn in here. Wow, look how far I can see. And I'm still running it like up to, oh, I had 100 frames right there per second, so I can spawn more than I think I can. It's really the spawning the mobs that takes up a lot of frames. So I'll definitely be continuing to look into ways to make that better. See, okay, so this didn't spawn again, the PCG stuff. What's my map looking like here? Any interesting sections I want to check out? That is a interesting looking peninsula. I kind of hate the way because of the fall off maps. Yeah, you can see it there. It kind of sucks. The fall off maps don't blend into the next chunk perfectly. So we're getting some shitty edges there. Some very, very ridge-like ridges. Ooh, let's check out this, like, here, we'll go right there. I'm gonna have to hop off soon, I'm getting tired, and a good stopping point, too. It's 10 p.m., yeah, 10:30 now. Am I not spawning yet? Oh, I'm, like, completely frozen. No sleep, only suffering, yeah. What is happening to my computer right now? Jesus Christ, that took forever. Hang on. My computer maxed out on memory there for a second. Wait, what is taking up all... I don't get it. What is taking up all my memory? I don't believe that... Okay. That's... It's coming back down, okay. I think spawning that many chunks and teleporting... Like, I was watching the stream and it got, like, glitchy for a second. Wait, is this coastline right here? Still at 100 frames here, though. Okay, we're gonna have that open. I'm gonna click some. Let's go on the right there. It's just like throwing my guy around. I don't even think that actually responded correctly. Let's try that again. My dude is having trouble spawning actually on the land. So I think my teleport function could be better. There's all my old chunks. Getting cleaned up. I guess what it only processes one chunk per frame. It's not exactly going to spawn me very fast, is it? These are things I can do better as well. There is no shortage of work, but there is a shortage of sleep and consciousness. So I am going to hop off for the night. Thanks to everyone who stopped by. Attorney Cog, good to see you again. Got a couple new follows tonight. That's awesome. We're getting close at 30 now. I'm at 30 follows. That's fucking sick. That is fucking sick. I don't feel like I was as productive today as I was yesterday. Yesterday was awesome. I got a lot done yesterday. And today my list doesn't look so good. This one was cool though. Getting that to work. Oh. Yep, that's it for me. Good night, bud. Yeah, good night to you too. Have a good night. I should be streaming. Can't be super. Yeah, some days you're the pigeon, some days you're the statue, and that'll be my final words. Good night.